Okay, so for 3D flower, I'm going to be using this base here, which is just a size number 4 full coverage nail tip, and this has Tammy Taylor's French Pink 102 Prisma. And for the flower, I'm going to be using this brush here. It is a size 2 100% sable brush, and I use it for my 3D nail art. It's just generic from eBay. Oh no, you can see that. I'm also going to be using Tammy Taylor's Whitest White acrylic. You can see that. Hot Pink Prisma acrylic. And Hot Neon Green for the leaves. Now, for the petals, the flower, I want to double dip them in the white. So I'm going to dip it in the white first. And then I'm just going to dip the edge into the pink so that you get a double bead. This way it gives a more three-dimensional effect. So I'm going to have the white for the outer side of the petal and the pink for the inner side. For my roses, I like to do 3 petals on the outside. So I'm going to put it up here, and this stuff sets pretty quick, so I kind of want to move it while it's still wet. And then when the shine starts to go away, yeah, it's kind of not shiny. And then I just start to press it out. More pressure in the center than on the outside. You can kind of pull it through to make it more of a peak of a rose. The more you press, the flatter it's going to be. So you can see how it gives like that two-tone look. So with your brush, you're going to press with the point of it. And so it's going to look just like this. So you press here, and then the outer side is not pressing. So you're basically pressing with the tip of the brush. So, and you want to make sure that the petals are kind of uniform, especially in size. And you just press it out. Because this is so richly pigmented, it really like picks up. You have to be really careful. Otherwise you're gonna turn your entire petal pink. Well, I'm just gonna turn this here so I can do the other side for video purposes only. Just because I'm doing this with my phone and it doesn't like to maneuver the way that I want to. And do the same. And it's okay if it doesn't look exactly the way that you want. But you can see it's basically starting to take shape of a rose. So the next thing I'm going to do is take some smaller beads, maybe about 2/3 of the size that I used prior, so I can do 3 more in between these petals so I can fill up the gaps. And I usually don't spread these just because, I mean, it's smaller, so I don't get it everywhere. And you have to be careful, because I mean, if you press too much, especially on these inner ones, everything is just going to mud up together. And we definitely don't want that. We still want where you can see the layers and all of that. I mean, you can see like where most of my pressure is right here in the center, where it's like basically non-existent, because I mean, that's where all my pressure is. So again, just turning this just for video purposes. I'm going to go on to the next two. I'm sorry that this is so wobbly, because I mean, it's attached to my table, and the table's on wheels, so. More pressure. You just definitely don't want everything to be like too wet. If it's too wet, then you're not really going to be able to move it where you want it. Or if you press into it, then it's just going to bounce back to what it used to be. Now for the center, sometimes my client wants like a rhinestone or something, which you can set that in with a bead of acrylic. Also, don't want it too wet, because otherwise it'll end up covering the gem. You can put like clear acrylic in the middle, like a wetter bead, because I mean, it is clear, so you can set like some micro beads or something into it. Give it something a little bit different. I mean, if the petals like aren't 100% the same, it's fine, because I mean, it's nature, so it doesn't have to be uniform. But I mean, just to give an effect. What I personally like to do is, this way it actually looks more like a rose, is I like to take another bead, double loaded, and put it into the center. I usually like to do like the dark side down, if I can try to get it there. So I mean, you could do like that and leave it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to basically give it a good wiggle around. Dry brush. This way I can soak up any of the excess acrylic, and then I'll push this out. You can see I still kind of have that double color going. Push it out, and then for my final bead, I'm going to just use white. This way it stands out the most, because this is going to be the center of the flower where it closes. So I just want a very, very small bead. Also dry it off on the back like this. This way there's not too much liquid in my brush. This is the very center, otherwise you're going to fill up everything or whatever. So again, I'm going to do the little dotting motion, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a C. So I'm going to like cut into it. And then I'm going to push this over. Oops. Until I get a swirl pattern, which that looks a lot more natural. It's a little bit thicker than what I normally would do, but doing it in this tight of a space for this video, I mean, it'll do. But you get the idea. Also, a lot of times, like, your client doesn't really want leaves and stuff. I mean, this is cute and all, but it really looks better if you do leaves. So I'm just going to do like 1/3 white, 2/3 green. I'm not going to do anything super fancy with the leaves, but I like to at least put 2 leaves on the side. What's great is that, because I mean this is on acrylic, it's all acrylic that I did, so it's really easy to press it around. Now if you're trying to do this on polish, it would be really hard to try to do this on polish. Just because, I mean, your polish is going to get extremely messed up from you trying to move it around so much. That's another reason, like, I do it on polish sometimes, but you really have to work fast. Because otherwise you're going to mess up the polish underneath, and then your client's not going to be happy, and drag it out while it's wet. Again, same pressing motions. I can press this down this way. It kind of looks like it's coming from the back of that leaf. And then press this in. Now if you do this on top of acrylic, like, it's not going to come off. Like, your client will have to seriously bash her finger against something for it to come off at all. So, this in a little bit until you get it how you want it. So that looks better. But that's the finished product. And of course, I mean, I would gel seal around here. Be very careful to gel seal it and be nice and shiny. But that's a rose.